Angel Moro versus Buu Merus Absorbed. Which one do you think would win in a fight? Which angelic absorption do you think is more powerful? Let me know in the comment section below, because in today's video we're going to be going through their strengths, their weaknesses on this what if versus matchup with a fight scenario at the end, and then I'll let you know which one I believe is the stronger out of the absorption villains. And if you want a Dragon Ball, make sure to hit that like button. Let's go. Let's start with Angel Moro. In the story, Moro copies Merus' angelic powers via 73, but his body can't handle the divine energy. His body begins to overload and he literally explodes. But before that, he has enough power not only in his angelic state to handle Mastered UI Goku, but once he starts exploding and expanding and he literally becomes a planet, he actually is able to dominate Mastered UI Goku for a little bit of time. So right off the bat, this Moro's biggest downfall is the fact that he cannot stabilize the angelic energy within his body. He cannot use it for a prolonged period of time without starting to become the planet. So in this scenario, we'll take that away. He is not going to start decomposing and forming himself into the planet and not being able to utilize the angelic energy effectively. He'll be able to use it like it was intended. Because if I don't make this little caveat, then this Moro is going to be done with the fight very early on. So this gives us a version of Moro who has Ultra Instinct reflexes, divine durability and speed, absorption of abilities and magic, planet draining energy hacks. He essentially becomes a Dark Angel, a being with divine powers but ruthless intent. Now let's flip the scenario with Buu if Buu absorbed Merus. So what if Majin Buu, and I'm talking about this Majin Buu, the evil version, ended up absorbing Merus? Remember, Merus had been in Universe 7 studying the mortals, so he would have been in the same time period as Majin Buu. Now, Buu's absorption is chaotic, but it is far more effective than just draining the power like Moro did. He basically retains all knowledge powers and even strategic intellect depending on who he absorbs. So if he absorbs Merus, he gains about exactly the same thing that Moro did. Ultra Instinct combat style, godly precision and speed, increased discipline and tactics, and his usual regeneration and elasticity. Imagine a Buu who fights like an angel, heals instantly, and warps the battlefield at will. Now, the main difference between this version of Buu versus the Angel Moro that we got is that Angel Moro still has the mindset of Moro. Essentially the same Moro that we got from the very beginning of the Moro arc, just now with stronger abilities and the angelic power. While Buu, he is essentially going to drastically change into fitting more into a Merus mindset. He's going to be as smart as an angel, he's going to be as disciplined as an angel, he is going to be as focused as an angel, and he is going to essentially gain some of the traits that Merus actually has. Merus looks down on the mortals and has gotten a little bit too close with them, so he is sympathetic to them, actually wants to help them. This is going to be a trait that is going to be passed down to Buu, where he's going to be far more of a good guy than he was originally. Even though he is still evil Buu, I would imagine that his mindset is more of a, I won't go out of my way to kill mortals, but if it happens, it happens. So what are the strengths and weaknesses of either of these two characters? So with Angel Moro, he has divine combat instincts, energy absorption, magical hats, a huge IQ from the thousands of years of his life, while his weaknesses is the instability of the divine energy. I would say it's still very dangerous for him since he is a mortal. I'm not going to let him fall apart like he did in the actual Moro arc, but it's still going to be something that's not going to be as responsive to him. He does have extreme overconfidence, and there are some divine law consequences which may get the attention of the other angels. While Buu, he gets a lot of strengths. He's got regeneration, even more absorption, all the angelic stuff that Moro got, But he also got insane durability and just magic. Buu is brimming with magic. And remember, Buu is not immortal either. So him absorbing Merus, he will have a better, more stable connection to that divine key and that the divine person than Moro ever could. Now his weaknesses are all kind of mental because Buu is unpredictable in nature. That didn't change at all, and despite who he absorbed. So he's still a little bit unpredictable. His personality is going to be clashing with Merus's a lot, and Merus's may be the dominant one, really. So he basically kind of turns into semi of a good guy, maybe in the gray areas, and he doesn't have much of a focus like Moro has. Moro has a goal, while this version of Buu does not. Moro arrives first, levitating, arms behind his back, exuding an aura that distorts space. His eyes glow with divine clarity, and he radiates power not meant for mortals. Buu teleports in, wobbling like he's still goofy, but the moment Moro moves, he dodges with Merus' angelic finesse. The battle begins at this moment, with Moro launching a barrage of magic and ki, draining the environment's energy, but Buu transforms his body, creating clones, absorbing blasts, and countering with reality warping tricks. Moro goes hand to hand, relying on Ultra Instinct movement, but Buu is literally just as fast and has Ultra Instinct. With Merus' skills, he adapts to Moro's rhythm and even lands a few hits. With Ultra Instinct versus Ultra Instinct, one has to eventually cancel out, and the fact that Buu is far more unpredictable in nature, especially with his movement, he is going to have the upper hand with his version of Ultra Instinct. Then it gets chaotic. Buu splits his body into multiple mini-Buus, all fighting with angelic martial arts. Moro retaliates by teleporting around the battlefield, draining each clone's energy until he finds the real one. Buu tries to absorb Moro, but Moro blasts him with divine ki, nearly erasing chunks of Buu's body, but Buu regenerates instantly, laughing the whole time. As the battle comes to a close, Moro creates a planet-sized energy sphere, pulling from nearby moons, stars, and his own divine reserves. He throws it down, a literal ender of a universe type of bomb, but Buu absorbs it, floats like a balloon, then reverses the energy into a spare bomb of his own. You get the picture. Buu shrinks down the bomb into a pinpoint beam, hits Moro straight into the chest, and encases him in a cosmic candy shell. A final trick merging magic with divine ki, transforming him into a lollipop. Moro is sealed, still alive but defeated, and then Buu eats Moro, doubling up the angelic and divine ki, gaining all of Moro's abilities and everything that comes with it. And this creates some sort of hybrid chimera of Buu, two versions of Merus, and also Moro, all controlled by Buu. So why did Buu win? Well, his regeneration outlasts Moro's damage. Merus' skills give Buu control and tactics that he normally doesn't have, while Buu's magic gives him too many unpredictable tools. Plus, Buu has absurd adaptability, and he also absorbs. His absorption of Merus is far more complete than Moro just copying Merus' abilities. At the end of the day, Buu having control over Merus by absorption is a far stronger deity than Moro copying Merus' abilities. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Turn on all notifications so you never miss a video.